Hey, what is up you guys? It is your boy Hidilyn and welcome back to this brand new reaction video. So today we got Filipinos who made PINOYS proud part 2. Now this one has got significantly more views, so I'm expecting this to be a good video. Last video was absolutely amazing, right? I actually had goosebumps reacting to it with you guys. So this one is going to be a genuine authentic reaction video as well. Sitting at 4.5 million views, was released 2 years ago by the channel Casual Chuck. His channel sitting at 112k subs. This video has got 41k likes and 2.3k comments on average. No subtitles. Got myself some good drink as well. Some tea this time. It's a beautiful sunny day in the Netherlands. If you guys have any other recommendations, you guys know where to go. My Instagram page, insane_. Link in my description, guys. That's about it. Thank you guys so much for listening. And for 222k subs, you guys for smashing it. And without further ado, let's get right into this. I'm hyped, guys. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm gonna bend you over, Salt Papi, and no one will stop me. You understand me? I'm the underdog, bro. You don't even know what you stepped into, bro. You don't even know.
Salt Papi, some strong words over there.
First of all, I'd like to thank God, my team, my brothers, and my dad for training me for this event, and my coach. I'd like to thank Happy Punch Promotions and Misfit Boxing, KSI, for giving me this opportunity. I'm very happy to be here. And I'd like to thank Andy Worski as well for taking this fight.
Respects.
Yeah, respect for that. And he can talk as much as he wants, but I let my hands do the talking in the ring, like I did.
Salt Papi, final word.
I just wish him a speedy recovery.
Hey, yo!
I grew up watching Manny Pacquiao.
Showboating from Salt Papi.
Salt Papi has some of the best arms.
Salt Papi is the real deal.
Salt Papi making a statement with that one.
Okay, that intro was tough. That was tough as shit. That alone makes me want to like this video. Come on, man. Salt Papi, I've heard of his name before. I haven't heard of him in a while though, but I did see some TikTok videos of him back then. I was wondering what this intro was because this whole scenario was kind of weird with KSI and that guy with like a whole goofy ass superhero mask, right? And as usual, what I see with boxing at least is just a lot of cocky sentences, statements like I'm better, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm gonna beat you up, etc. This guy did not use those words, he just let the actions speak. And that was aura. That was aura. That was freaking awesome. Love to see it.
Showboating from Salt Papi.
It's gonna be a long video, guys. Buckle up. Oops.
Salt Papi is the real deal.
Salt Papi making a statement with that one.
Social media has been taking over the entertainment industry.
Bella Porch.
It's also starting to make noise in the professional sports industry.
Alright. And then I have an ad. Then I got an ad. Great, bro.
At a first glance, anyone could easily assume that this guy's only talents are watching anime and playing video games.
Yep.
This chubby Filipino dude is a living proof that muscles alone don't win fights, but real talent and skill.
True.
Meet Nathaniel Bustamante, aka Salt Papi. He was born and raised in Candelaria, Quezon. At age 14, he moved to the UK with his family for better opportunities in life. He loved boxing ever since he was a kid because of Manny Pacquiao. He used to engage in street fights for fun in some of his vlogs, which are actually entertaining to watch, but he never really trained seriously. He worked as a nurse in a mental health institution for 5 years until he struck gold when his fake run challenge on TikTok went viral.
I remember that.
His popularity skyrocketed and he didn't stop there because he became even more popular when he started uploading videos of himself pouring salt in the most ridiculous ways you could ever imagine.
Ah, I see. That's why he calls himself Salt Papi. Everybody knows Salt Bay, right? I'm sweating out here, bro. It's hot in our room.
Nice.
This is when he earned his infamous nickname. He made his boxing debut in March of 2022 when he was given the opportunity to match up against the English YouTuber Halal Ham. Days before the fight, Salt Papi's opponent couldn't stop talking smack.
You think you're better than boxing than me? Bastard, shut up! I'm going to send your Filipino butt to China. Bastard, shut up!
But come fight night, he made Halal regret everything he said.
Oh, lovely lean counter. He's definitely I want to see this guy fight again.
The
That's
internet
sick.
took notice because it was 3 full rounds of humiliation.
Salt Papi! And he's delivered emphatically. What an entertaining performance.
But at this point, Salt Papi was only seen as some chubby guy who beat another chubby guy. So he got matched up against a Twitch streamer who was more fit and more arrogant than
Andy
the first one.
Warski.
I'm not coming in here to like have fun. I'm coming in like in here to murder you, bro. And that's what I'm gonna do, bro.
Is there an element
I don't know, man. When people talk like that, I kind of sense like insecurity. In that sense, just like egoing yourself. In that sense, you know what I mean. Like Salt Papi does not use any, egoistic phrases out there to make sure that he's the best. He just like I said, he lets actions speak. And that's way louder than words, and you see it right here. That's fucking awesome, man. That's actually the way to do it.
of surprise that you're worried about with Andy, right? We haven't seen a lot from him.
I've lost 10 kg for this fight. I feel more conditioned. I'm gonna take him out in first round.
Oh yeah? Really? First round?
All right, Salt Papi in the black. How about Salt Papi the southpaw? A la Manny Pacquiao from the Philippines.
So much adrenaline.
The real deal.
Salt Papi making a statement with that one.
They've waved it off. The Philippines celebrate. 1, 2, 3. Light them up for Salt Papi.
This man was talking about a fight with KSI earlier in the week, and that is how he might get it.
The fight was over in seconds and he stayed true to his word. The
That's
internet then blew up as Salt Papi violated every ounce of Andy Warski's ego. The matchmakers then wanted to see how Salt Papi reacts when he gets tested. Like really tested. So they matched him up against an American MMA fighter, Josh Bruckner. On paper, it was looking like our guy didn't have a chance because not only does this guy have a total of 8 professional fights, but he was also bigger at 6'1" and stronger judging by his muscles.
This guy's jacked. Looking at his arms, he must take some sort of PhD, bro. I mean, he does have like a fighter physique, but something about his physique tells me that he's not quite natural. And if it is, then it's just actually a compliment to him, right? If you are jacked as hell and people say that you're not natural, it's a huge compliment. But, like I said, body and strength does not equal fight. In the sense that when you don't have any technique, of course you're gonna get knocked out. And my boy proves it right here. Plus, I think he's lost a lot of weight. I think he is really disciplined and he has a passion for fighting. And that if you do not have a passion, bro, you're not gonna get there to that level.
Muscles. Like, come on, just take a look at the difference. But come fight night,
This is where Josh should be excelling. He's the longer fighter, should be touching Papi.
And he's taller. Yo!
What a shot!
He may not get up.
Clean.
He's struggling here. He's struggling over.
That is crazy!
Papi train rolls down the track.
That's
It was a Manny
crazy!
Pacquiao left hand, stepped inside the guard. You don't see that a lot. And taking advantage of the inside lane and popping him.
this was the fight when Salt Papi gained the respect of everybody, even the pros.
Who are the top 3 creator boxers right now?
Salt Papi.
One? Salt Papi 1?
Yes. Technically wise, and like he seems like he understands boxing at a higher level, so I would say Salt Papi. technically.
Also well-deserved.
saying
He
it.
is
Well
so
deserved.
good. So entertaining, so good, so sexy.
He just seems like he gets everything, and he's understanding it, and I think he's gonna get better.
This win catapulted him into the top 5 pound-for-pound influencer boxing rankings, along with big names such as KSI and Jake Paul. Heck, some of them are even scared of him now.
Now, I'm just training against all of those fighters now.
Got
So
you.
no more southpaws. You know, people want me to fight Salt Papi. It's not happening. Okay, I need to fight Jake Paul. I can't get distracted now.
No.
Man, it low-key feels good when people fear us.
He actually... I thought that he was only famous off of TikTok videos, but he actually made a name from himself by working his ass off and winning. That's amazing, man. And my 2 cents on Jake Paul and KSI, I just feel like their fights are really scripted. Like that last Mike Tyson fight, bro's legacy is so big, he's basically kind of shattering it to pieces with that fight with Jake Paul. Plus the age difference, it's just only for media publicity. And I think a lot of people are, you know, they know that, but still they would love to watch that shit. I still think Mike Tyson could beat the crap out of Jake Paul, not gonna lie.
Another Filipino who should be feared is Dave Bautista.
I've heard of his name before.
He was born and raised in Washington, D.C. by his American mom and Filipino dad who worked as a taxi driver and a barber. They lived a life of poverty. Their home was located in a place where crime was a daily routine. He once said in an interview that he had witnessed a total of 3 murders right in front of their house as a kid.
Damn.
It didn't take too long for him to adopt a similar lifestyle because as early as 13, he was already stealing cars. By age 17, he started living independently, working as a nightclub bouncer. But that job didn't last long as he was arrested after a fight against 2 customers. One of them was rendered unconscious. He then got sentenced to 1-year probation. He then worked as a lifeguard after that, and at this time, he already had 2 kids and was struggling to make ends meet. There was one time when he broke down in shame when he had to borrow money from his co-worker just to give his kids some Christmas gifts. His struggles continued until he found bodybuilding.
Look at this dude, holy shit. This guy's definitely not natty, but geez man, still. That's insane. This guy could... I'm not even gonna try to beat him. Like, if you put him against a gorilla, I think it'll be pretty close.
And started going all into wrestling, which led him to develop a monstrous physique, and this didn't happen until he was in his early 30s. This was him before. This was him after hitting the gym. Dude is almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
But despite his hard work, a lot of people still doubted him. He tried out in WCW but immediately got rejected and was told by one of their pro wrestlers that he would never make it in the pro scene. When one door closes, another opens because this led him to get accepted to debut in a much bigger organization, the WWE.
Yo!
From this point on, his career would snowball as he carried the iconic stage name Bautista. He racked up multiple tag team and world title belts and was able to share the ring with legendary wrestlers like Triple H, John Cena, Rey Mysterio, and The Undertaker to name a few. This line of profession is very dangerous. So injuries weren't a stranger to him. So he decided to put it.
That's why I know the name Dave Bautista. Like, I'm not the biggest WWE fan. I've never really watched that much. Still, I find it actually pretty cool, and I do know some names, right? Rey Mysterio, The Undertaker, John Cena. But Dave Bautista, when I had a childhood friend named Tyler, and he was a lot into WWE wrestling, and he had a PlayStation 3, and there was this one game about boxing, or at least not boxing, WWE, right? And I could play as Dave Bautista, so that's where I recognize him from the PS3 game.
Put it on hold and started
Not
venturing
from
into
WWE.
acting. As expected, a lot of people doubted him again. But not for long because he was able to secure a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Of course!
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better.
He's dead!
Why is Gamora?
After the Guardians of the Galaxy, Bautista appeared in multiple highly rated movies such as Blade Runner 2049, Dune, Endgame, Knock at the Cabin, and more.
Give me a second, guys. So I've got Mr. Dave Bautista himself right here as Dax from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you guys used to play like Disney Infinity or Skylanders, you got a great childhood. But let's get it.
What I like about this dude is he never forgot about his heritage. He's a loud and proud Filipino. He is so proud that he got the total of 3 tattoos representing his Filipino roots.
The stats are dope.
You really just taught to be proud of my heritage. My mom's Greek, my dad's Filipino. Always very proud of my roots, and I display it on my body.
You should be, bro.
Greek flag, and also another Filipino flag, and another Filipino son.
Now that's something to be proud of. Another big dude who is a very proud Filipino is Brandon Vera. He was born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia, but he also spent some of his childhood in Tagkawayan, Quezon, under the care of his Filipino dad and stepmom, which explains his fluent Tagalog.
Nakakatuwa si Brandon, no? Diba? Pinoy na Pinoy, ang galing managalog. Mas magaling ka pang managalog sa mga Pilipinong nakatira sa Pilipinas.
Nahihirapan pa minsan. Mga ibang words. Yung
may
malalim.
Ibang words. Oo, pero diretso, hindi bulol. Diba?
Thank you.
Taga saan ang pamilya mo rito sa Pilipinas?
Tagkawayan, Quezon. And si mom galing Batangas.
He even knows a lot about Philippine history.
Yo, dude looks very charismatic.
Marami ka bang alam sa Pilipinas?
A lot. My favorite one is the barong.
Yung barong Tagalog, pambansang kasuotan ng mga lalaki.
Oo nga.
Anong alam mo sa barong?
Saan galing yun? Bakit?
Saan galing ang barong?
Yeah.
Saan ba galing ang barong?
So, the history of the barong is I was told, when the Spanish colonized the Philippines, they tried to make us wear clothes. Kasi, di ba, we were savages, not wearing clothes. So, pinusutan ng damit, and then, laging tago yung mga weapons ng mga Pilipino.
Nagtatago sila ng mga sandata. Okay.
Lahat. I guess the way that they fixed the problem was, they came up with a shirt that was see-through. The barong, Tagalog.
Para makita nila kung may tinatago o may daladalang sandata yung mga Pilipino. Ang pinasuot nilang damit, yung kita yung loob.
The tattoo on his back is also noticeable. The letters are an ancient Filipino writing system called Baybayin, which reads Mundo, Hangin, Apoy, and Tubig.
That's awesome.
Anyway, he excelled in wrestling in his high school days, which earned him a 4-year athletic scholarship at Old Dominion University. But he would later drop out as he wanted to focus only on wrestling. He enlisted in the US Air Force and joined the wrestling team, but his career would be cut short because he would suffer multiple torn ligaments in his right elbow. This got him medically discharged by the army. Nothing seems to be working in Brandon's favor, but he never gave up. He rehabbed his elbow on his own until he was strong enough to enter the Grappler's Quest submission wrestling competitions. He didn't have a coach or a trainer, so this caught the attention of Lloyd Irvin, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and coach, who invited him to train with his MMA school. He later then turned pro and went on to have an 8-fight winning streak while finishing most of his opponents with his signature kicks and devastating knees.
High clinch, watch the knees.
Ow, that shit hurts, man. A knee to
Though
the
he
face.
didn't quite reach the goal to become a champion in the UFC, he did become one in ONE FC in a brutal fashion by finishing all of his opponents.
Bro, 8-time winning streak is insane.
Body shot that hurt him. And he goes upstairs as well. From the nose, the punches come down. Yuji Shimada steps in.
It's a lead hook. Swinging.
And let him do what he does best.
Ooh, that's tough.
But he was already 40 at the time and his age would start catching up as he would lose against Myanmar's Aung San Sang. In the present day, Brandon Vera had already retired and moved to the Philippines permanently.
I see.
He also built his own gym called the Alliance Training Center PH to help train more young Filipino MMA talents.
Awesome.
And speaking of talent, especially in combat sports, who would ever forget to mention Manny Pacquiao?
He avoided no one. He's a throwback. It's like the old days when people fought the very best.
Historically great fighter.
He also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived.
That's too much power, too much heart.
The fighting pride of the
Yo, this guy seems very lightweight. I'm also really lightweight, by the way. Like 2 weeks ago, because actually last week, because I've had a bodybuilding competition to do, so I got rid of all of the fucking water and fluids and body fat off my system, so I weighed 62 kilos. And now I'm weighing 66 kilos, and my goal is to weigh 80 kilos in 3 months. But this guy, like featherweight, is that like really a ideal situation to be in? Or is it like actually like types of weight classes in MMA? Because I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to that. I want to know more about it, right? So if you guys know more, let me know, because I'm curious receiving great info from you guys. But this guy, if I would have guessed how much he weighed, I'm not going to say in pounds, just in kilos, because I'm Dutch. 63 kilos? He seems really light. Could be less light, I don't know, judging off his height. It's probably like my height, 172. Let me know, guys. He does really have a fighter physique.
And let me tell you, that was just a quick punch.
Sick.
Every time he fights, the country's crime rate drops to 0%. He's a master not only inside, but also outside the ring.
Manny, you have something very kind to say about us,
Yeah,
to the people of the Philippines.
Okay, hello Philippines. Itong mga kasama ko, hindi sila nakakaintindi ng Tagalog at akala nila pinupuri ko sila, pero sila ay hindi nakakaintindi, kaya pwede natin silang ibinta. Kaya mga kababayan, ito wala to, hindi nakakaintindi. So,
That's
Manny P.
That's
Thank you.
extremely
Very
moving.
Yes,
We're
yes.
moved.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank
Manny,
you.
We like
thank
that.
you.
Everyone loved Manny.
Or that had to be scripted, that they know. But I doubt that. I could just imagine these two guys looking back at the video and seeing the original translation and think like, oh my god, we're such fools.
Even the biggest celebrities. But before gaining all that fame, he had to go
Sylvester
through a lot of
Stallone.
pain because he was born
Keanu
and raised in
Reeves.
General Santos at the time of poverty and war. At age 5, he'd already seen dead and decapitated bodies. Military and rebel shootouts would happen just a few meters away from their home, so his family had no choice but to leave and settle in a nearby province called Sarangani. Manny's dad was barely there for them, so his uncle played the role of a father figure. He started training Manny how to box and also taught him how to fish at a very young age to survive. He joined several amateur boxing competitions and dominated all of them, but he wasn't earning enough because most of what he got was just a bunch of trophies and medals. Life was too hard that it came to a point that Manny's dad butchered their own dog just to have food on the table. This was Manny's wake-up call, so at age 16, he traveled alone to the city of Manila to become a pro boxer without letting his mom know because he knew she wouldn't allow him back then. He made the gym his home and slept in the ring every night. In Manny's first professional fight, he had to lie about his age just to get in. He was a malnourished kid, so he put heavy objects in his pocket just to make it into the flyweight division, which explains why he looked significantly smaller than his opponents in his early fights. But despite the
I mean, even though he looked and probably was malnourished, the hunger within, as corny as that sounds, this guy had hunger. This guy was hungry. In the sense that you know that I'm talking about.
handicap, he still went on to dominate and clean up the whole flyweight division, gaining him a world title belt in the process.
That is actually so inspiring, dude.
In spite of this achievement, Manny was still relatively unknown to the world. Nobody knew him to the point that the announcers couldn't even read his name properly.
Tail of the tape, Berlisanola Ledwaba against Manny Pacquiao. I'll get it right, Pacquiao.
But Manny's anonymity would only last until this very night.
Yo!
He took this fight on only 2 weeks' notice, and he is banging Ledwaba right now. Big right hand upstairs, and now he's got Ledwaba bleeding badly.
The eyes of Ledwaba.
That's a TKO victory for the very impressive Manny Pacquiao.
I frankly had never heard of him, but I've seen and heard of him now.
And you want to see him again?
I want to see him again.
He would then beat everyone in bantamweight, so he had to move up to featherweight, where he would earn the nickname Pac-Man, as he would devour most of the Mexican monsters in the division.
Okay. I noticed this video is just all about fighting, but I don't care. This is something new that I'm not that familiar with, but it's dope to see all the background stories and the way that they've developed and like actually secured their name in legend status. That's so cool to see. Like that little bit of his appearance where people didn't even know how to pronounce his name or never even heard of him. That is such a legendary fucking video, because after that, bro just kept on winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. He made a legend and a name off himself coming from absolutely nothing. Imagine that. That's really inspiring. That goes to show that if you really put your mind to it, you can achieve anything.
Down he goes. Solid left-hand shot by
It came to a point that nobody in the featherweight division, even the lightweight division, was willing to fight him. Not even the prime Mayweather.
Did Floyd duck Manny Pacquiao?
Yes. I have to believe that Floyd is ducking.
So Manny was forced to move up to 2 weight classes. Manny had to face his idol himself, Oscar De La Hoya. Their size difference was so noticeable that Manny's countrymen got worried about him. There was even a bill that was passed just to stop the fight from happening.
The objective is to protect the pride of our nation. Protect him from a possible debacle that may be detrimental to his health. Some say this will be a circus. Because you see a big man fighting a small man.
But the fight still happened, and Manny shocked everyone when he completely dominated the much bigger fighter and even made him give up in round number 8.
Manny Pacquiao has beaten Oscar De La Hoya.
Manny then went down a weight class to visit the lightweight division to put Ricky Hatton to sleep.
Ooh! When was this?
Then moved back up to welterweight and proceeded to go on a rampage against bigger opponents. One notable victim was Antonio Margarito, who was arguably the biggest fighter Manny ever faced. What made this matchup interesting was the drama leading up to the fight, because Margarito was so arrogant and insulted Manny in multiple ways.
Así va a quedar, mira. Así va a quedar llorando. Julian, who's gonna win? Pacquiao or Margarito?
Margarito.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Margarito.
No, this guy.
Pacquiao. Fuck him up. Fuck him up. Guys, little break, because I have to go to the toilet, and my camera can only record for 30 minutes. So I've been recording for almost 30 minutes. And I'll see you guys soon. Let's get it.
Es puto Pacquiao.
Así es, pendejo.
But just like Salt
Cocky,
Papi,
man.
Manny did all the talking with his fists.
Exactly. Okay, once again noticeable, Salt Papi mentioned that he used to watch a lot of Manny Pacquiao, right? So it's a lot of inspiration, but it's also the mindset. Awesome to see. The roots.
Jackson Pacquiao hits a blunt with a big left hand, and then flurries and backs Margarito.
Fucking ass, man! Get off my screen! I don't care about this stupid ass smoothie! 2 ads in a row! Shut up!
A vicious beatdown of a guy who outweighed him 17 pounds in the ring.
Fuck him up!
Pacquiao has his unanimous decision victory. Margarito has a vicious beatdown to
he's
remember.
beaten.
His 5th consecutive conquest
He
of
can't
a
see.
significantly bigger man.
Manny Pacquiao's career is definitely full of interesting fights, but it would take hours if I had to share all of them. For now, let me just give you a perspective on the magnitude of his achievements.
This guy's a legend!
Manny is the only 8-weight division world champion, and he has held a total of 13 world titles across all of them. This is a feat no boxer has ever done before. He made it into the boxing world fighting bigger guys, and retired fighting even bigger guys. He was the people's David against the world's Goliaths, and because of his legacy, he became an inspiration to many aspiring young athletes.
Sick as hell!
And one of them was surprisingly a young woman, Hidilyn Diaz. She was only 9 when she got introduced to weightlifting by her cousins, as they used to haul wood, which is a common thing in the provinces to gain extra money. She liked it instantly as she discovered that she was actually stronger than her cousins, who turned out to be boys.
Let's go!
They also lived a life of poverty as her parents struggled to make ends meet. Hidilyn was the 5th child among 6, so his dad's income as a tricycle driver and a part-time farmer was barely enough to support them. She had to borrow shoes and uniforms for training and gladly took hand-me-downs. Going to the gym was even a struggle for her because she didn't have money for fare, so she had to sit on her friend's lap to avoid paying. Despite all the difficulties, Hidilyn...
Just let that sink in. And for one, the majority of people don't even go to the gym, right? Imagine really, really wanting to go to the gym, but there's no fucking way. With her, she had to go through a lot to be able to go to the gym. While there's a gym nearby for a lot of people, and they're like, no, I'm tired. No, I do not have any time. Shut your ass up and go to the gym. Come on.
Hidilyn kept going, and her hard work paid off as she got selected as the wildcard entry in the 2008 Summer Olympics in China, making her the first ever female weightlifter to compete for the Philippines in the Olympics. She was only 17. Making it to the Olympics was a good achievement, but winning it all was the ultimate challenge. In Hidilyn's case, the gold eluded her for more than a decade, and it eluded the whole country for almost a century. 97 years to be exact. Her journey was full of setbacks and crushing defeats, but there was one thing she didn't do. She never gave up.
Bro, goosebumps. Clean and jerk? You know how hard it is to actually do a proper overhead press?
And that is it for Hidilyn Diaz.
Pero pinantaon na siya. Nakita natin kanina yung...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna gain her any positions. It's not gonna mean anything.
Bro, okay. Just gotta say this right off the bat. She is beautiful.
After winning silver in Rio, Hidilyn didn't get contented, so she kept training for the 2020 Olympics. She trained in Malaysia to prepare, but the pandemic happened. Her team got stranded in Malaysia for almost 2 years without training gym access or equipment. But instead of doing nothing, she kept training by using improvised tools such as heavy bags and water bottles. There was a point when they ran out of money and had to ask for financial help on social media, which led to her getting bashed by some fans. But Hidilyn didn't let it get in her head and instead kept training.
Bashed by some fans. Like, bashing and fans do not go together. If you're a true fan, you don't fucking bash. All I'm saying.
In the final moments of the competition, China set a
to become Olympic champion.
Hidilyn's last successful attempt was 124. And in order to win, she had to break the world record again by adding 3 more kilos to make it 127, which was something she'd never lifted in the past. That is almost 300 pounds. It's like lifting a Bautista.
Damn!
Ever Olympic gold medal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of Philippines.
Because, we are not known for our physical gifts. We are not the tallest people in the world. We are not the strongest either. Sometimes we lose, badly, but we never see it as a disadvantage. We see it as a challenge to claim victory by improving our skills and talents even further. We are Filipinos. We are a proud race. Sometimes it makes me wonder, why are we always so proud? Well, the answer is simple. Because we believe that our country's heart and soul are its people.
Oh man! Way to end the video off, bro. Because we believe that the country's heart and soul are its people. That phrase alone almost made me cry. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, unfortunately, YouTube guidelines keep getting worse by the year. Like, listen, if YouTube was as popular as in 2016, I mean, like, sorry, one more time. If 2016 YouTube was there, right, this video would not have any cuts, right? We could all make profit off this video. I do not have to blur anything out, right? We wouldn't have 2 freaking ads. So, unfortunately, there are like parts of this near the end that are just cut out because of, you know, YouTube guidelines, because YouTube sucks in a sense. I mean, if YouTube guidelines were the same as 2016, it would be a much better YouTube, but, you know, can't complain, can't complain. Anyways, very inspiring. Very inspiring. I think I've paused enough. I said a lot of stuff. This was a really good video once again, and I want to see number 3 as well. Last one made me tear up. Proud to be Filipino. I understand that. You showed us, Chuck, that we Filipinos excel in so many fields. That's what I noticed as well, also by checking out the first one. Because, like I said, I thought that Filipinos were mostly the most talented when it comes to karaoke and singing. But in the sports field, they've dominated as well, and it goes to show. And not only that, just performance field in general, man. It's great to see, and I'm learning a lot of this, right? Because with social media, you know, you kind of reduce your attention span if you look the wrong things up. And that becomes your algorithm, and then your whole algorithm becomes brain rot. There are still a lot of educational, purposeful content that are not short-term, right? That's just long formatted content that's very educational, that can sometimes even teach you more than school itself. So that's why I still love YouTube and whatever the platform has to offer. Just wish that, you know, the guidelines would be a little bit better. But, you know, it is what it is. I love this video, and I am glad that I checked it out, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as well. And if you guys did so, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you guys like me and my content, please subscribe. Become a Insane today, because your bonus was consistently. Here is another video for you guys to check out. Rest in peace, homie Etika. Dragon Boys forever. Hope you guys have a great blessed day, and what I'll see you is bye.